Shalom, welcome to the Jewish Task Force, JTF. My name is Chaim Ben Pesach. This program is dedicated to elevating the souls of Simcha Bat Shlomo and Melech Ben Avraham. As a result of the terrible, tragic massacre in Connecticut, where 27 people were murdered, including 20 little school children in an elementary school, advocates of gun confiscation are exploiting this terrible tragedy to demand more measures that will destroy the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution. Unfortunately, the left wing in this country, including Barack Hussein Obama, the Democrat Party, and the news media, are committed to confiscating guns from law-abiding American citizens. Nothing will be more counterproductive or destructive to American society than attempts to take away people's rights to gun ownership. I live in New York City, a place where you have the strictest gun confiscation laws imaginable. It's almost impossible to acquire a gun in New York City. Legally. Illegally, they're all over the place. But legally, it's almost impossible for law-abiding citizens to be armed. And if you look at the crime rate in places where there are strict gun measures and all types of anti-gun laws, those are the places where you have the highest crime rates. In the places where you don't have anti-gun laws, where it's easy to acquire firearms, you generally speaking have the lowest crime rates. It's not an accident. When law-abiding citizens are armed, when law-abiding citizens can defend themselves against armed criminals, that is a deterrent to violent crime, not a cause of violent crime. The fact is, violent criminals will always have access to firearms. They'll be able to obtain firearms on the black market illegally, no matter what laws you pass. The problem is that law-abiding citizens, when they're unarmed, are defenseless. And as much as law enforcement attempt to deal with the criminal problem in this country, they're overwhelmed. They cannot handle it by themselves. There is nothing wrong with law-abiding citizens defending their families, their property, their homes, and their businesses. If someone comes to attack them and endanger the lives of them and their loved ones, there is nothing wrong with law-abiding citizens deciding to defend themselves. And there is nothing wrong with them having the weapons that do serve as a deterrent to violent criminals. If you want to really solve the problem of the massacre that took place in Connecticut, deal with the morals in this country that have gone downhill, that have made people crazy, that have caused deprivation, decadence, and the downfall of American society and American culture. Look at the news media and Hollywood and the filthmongers who are teaching children to be filthy and sinful and faithless and valueless. They're the ones who are creating a society that's dangerous and violent. We need a society where the values of love and family and justice and truth and faith are part of the fabric of American life. That's the society we need to build. When we had a society like that, the crime rate was so much lower, it was indescribably lower. America was a much safer place and a much better place to live. But because we have thrown those values out the window, because evil, reckless, and vicious people in the news media and in Hollywood and on the left and on the universities and in the education system are determined to destroy all religious belief and all faith and all values, because they're determined to do this, we have a society where people grow up in a moral vacuum and become completely amoral. That will produce tragedies like the one in Connecticut. That is the surest example of how you create and multiply tragedies like in Connecticut. We urgently need a society where people understand that we have to love one another and care about one another, that we're all God's creatures. We have to love God and believe in God, believe in the Bible, and I'm not advocating a specific religion. I'm Jewish. I'm not a Christian. So I'm not part of the majority religion in this country. But religious beliefs and religious principles and faith and honor and dignity and family. Those are good things. Those are universal principles that should apply to everyone. That is what should be encouraged again. An end to the filth and the obscenity and the dirty movies and dirty television and nasty internet sites. An end to those who teach us that there are no morals and there are no values and nothing matters and everything is just a joke. An end to that. We need to return to the principles that made America a great nation and that are the essential bedrock and foundation for any great society to continue to exist, for any great nation to continue to exist. Because if you look throughout history, the downfall of every empire and every society and every great civilization, the downfall came when there was a decline in morals, when there was a decline in family, when there was a decline in faith. Those are the things that lead to downfall. And that internal rot is what's taking place in America. That's why Barack Hussein Obama was able to get reelected. He represents that rot. And the Democrat Party represents that rot. And the left-wing news media represents that rot. And Hollywood certainly represents that rot. Hollywood is one big sewer. There is a better way. There is a healthier and saner and more beautiful world that we can create if we stand together for what's right. The good people have to stand up and speak up now. Even if we're a minority now, and we probably are. But even if we're a minority now, the good people have to stand up and speak out. We have to speak out, and we have to tell the truth. We're not allowed to be silent. And if we do that, maybe we'll convince the majority that the way of idealism and faith and honor and family and love and brotherhood and concern for one another, that's the way to go. That was the way America became a great nation, and that's the way America will stay a great nation. JTF is an organization of right-wing Jews and righteous Gentiles fighting to save America, Israel, and Western civilization. You're invited to join our forum. You don't have to be Jewish to join our forum. About half of our members are not Jewish. Join with us, and together we're going to stand up for truth and righteousness and justice. Hope to see you on our forum. Shalom.